Ever just totally botch something thinking you were doing it right?
Oh, yeah, that was me. First succulent I ever owned. Totally drowned it.
Thought I was, being all nurturing and whatnot. Turns out.
Those desert-dwelling dudes, they like it a little drier. Who knew?
So to save you from similar plant-related tragedies.
Today we're diving into, get this, common watering mistakes.
And how to keep those leafy companions of yours thriving.
We're getting insights from the folks over at Agrio.
They make apps, sure, but they really know their plants.
And one big takeaway.
It's not just how much you water, but also about making sure your plants can, wait for it, breathe.
That's a good one a lot of people don't realize.
I know, right?
Seems obvious, but just like us, roots need oxygen to survive.
Okay, that makes sense when you put it like that.
And when soil gets waterlogged, it's basically cutting off their air supply.
So like those droopy leaves, yellowing tips, that's a plant gasping for air, not necessarily more water.
Could be, definitely a possibility, and you know what contributes to that?
What's that?
One of the biggest overwatering culprits, poor drainage.
Okay, real talk. Who here forgets to empty those little trays under their pots?
Happens to the best of us.
It's like a whole other mini ecosystem down there.
Right, and that excess water doesn't just vanish, it gets pulled right back up into the soil.
Creating that soggy bottom we're trying to avoid. So besides remembering to empty the trays, what else can we do to prevent, like, a drainage disaster?
Choosing the right pot size is huge right from the start.
Really, I always thought bigger the pot, happier the plant.
You'd think so, but those little roots, they can't handle a massive pot of moisture all at once.
Makes sense.
So you end up with water just hanging out, creating the perfect environment for root rot.
So it's about finding the right-sized home for your plant's roots as they grow.
Exactly. Start smaller, repot as your plant grows.
So we've tackled the hazards of overwatering, but what about the other end of the spectrum? Underwatering.
Oh yeah, underwatering. That's a sneaky one.
Right.
Especially when it's hot out, you know.
Totally. It's easy to forget.
Your plants are working overtime in that heat.
I've definitely been guilty of letting things wilt a bit, thinking, oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's easy to do, but
But you're saying it's more serious than that.
it can be, yeah.
Okay, lay it on me.
We tend to focus on the leaves, right? But the real damage, it's happening underground.
Ah, the roots.
Exactly. When that soil goes bone dry, those roots, they bear the brunt of it.
And they can't, like, recover from that.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes that damage is irreversible.
So it's not just a thirsty plant. We're talking about, like, its whole support system.
Exactly. Roots, they're responsible for taking up water, nutrients, the whole deal.
If those are shot, the plant's in trouble.
You got it. Growth, flowering, even its immune system.
Okay, wow, I'm getting a plant biology lesson here.
Yeah.
But seriously, how do you find that balance between too much water and not enough?
It's a dance, for sure.
Yeah.
But the finger test is your best friend.
Finger test.
Yeah, just check the top, like 3 inches of soil.
Oh, okay.
Feels dry, your plant's thirsty.
Get in there, get my hands dirty. I can do that.
Exactly. Simple stuff.
Love it when the simple solutions work.
Mhm.
Speaking of keeping that soil happy, though,
Yeah.
salinity?
Ah,
Yes, I've heard it's a thing, but
It's all about balance, right?
right.
Some salt in soil and water is natural.
Okay.
Plants even need a little bit, but
But too much is no good.
exactly throws the whole system off, especially for seedlings, sensitive plants.
So how does that even happen? Too much salt? I mean,
Could be a few things. Water with a lot of minerals.
oh, right.
Over-fertilizing can do it.
Okay.
Even living near the coast, that salty air.
Ah, interesting. So how do I know if I've got a salinity problem? Like, what are the signs?
Look for white crusting on the soil surface or the pot rim. That's a big one.
Okay.
Your plants might wilt even when the soil's damp.
Wilting again.
Yeah.
It's like the universal plant distress signal.
Right, so if you suspect salinity, flush the soil with lots of water.
Like a good soak.
Exactly, leach out those excess salts.
Makes sense. And what about, like, the water itself? What should we be using?
Good question, because
Because, I'll be honest, my tap water goes straight to my plants, no pit stops.
well,
I mean,
it's not ideal. Tap water often has chlorine, fluoride added in,
oh, right, right.
and those can build up in the soil over time, contribute to salinity.
Wait, really? Tap water can be bad for plants.
It's something to be mindful of. Rainwater's best, of course.
Of course, but who am I kidding? I don't have a rain barrel.
A filter's the next best thing. Gets rid of a good chunk of those chemicals.
Okay, good to know. My plants are getting an upgrade, filtered water from now on. But what about those fancy plant waters, the ones they sell at, like, fancy plant stores?
They can be helpful, sure, but
Right.
it all starts with good quality water no matter what,
Right, makes sense.
and then adjusting based on what your specific plants need.
So no need to break the bank on designer water for my ferns. Got it. So we've covered what to water with, why it matters, but what about the actual watering technique time? Because I'll admit, I'm a hose blasting, gotta water everything kind of gardener.
Like a nice refreshing shower for the plants.
I get it.
But there's a but, isn't there?
Well, that overhead watering, especially in the heat, it's
Yeah.
not always the best idea.
Really? I thought I was doing them a favor. What's the problem?
Think about it. When you water from above, the leaves, they get soaked, right?
Yeah, that's the point, right?
And wet leaves, especially if they stay wet.
Yeah.
That's prime real estate for fungal diseases, bacterial infections, all that fun stuff.
So I'm basically creating a spa day for plant pathogens.
Kind of, yeah. Not the kind of spa day we're going for.
And we already know those pathogens, they love a good soggy bottom, right? So
Yeah.
no overhead watering. Got it. What's the best way to water them?
Directly to the source. The
Huh.
soil,
Right.
water the base of your plants nice and gentle. Let that water really soak down to the roots.
So less jacuzzi jet spray, more like a gentle root soak. Got it. This deep dive has been eye-opening. I had no idea there was so much to watering plants.
It's amazing, right? The things we don't think about.
Totally.
But when you understand the why behind it all, you can really help your plants thrive.
We've gone deep, folks. Deep into the world of plant watering.
Deeper than I think any of us expected.
So next time you water, think about it. The how, the what, even the where.
A little mindfulness goes a long way.
It really does. All right, that's it for this deep dive into keeping those plants happy and hydrated. We tackled soggy bottoms, salty situations, even those accidental disease spas.
All in the name of plant health.
Exactly. So whether you're a seasoned plant parent or just starting out, we hope you learned a thing or two today. Until next time, happy gardening.